Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Lena Unedited. Before we start, I'm gonna get you to like, subscribe, comment, all those things that are gonna help my channel. So thank you for that. I'm Lena Robinson, and today I'm gonna be talking about a really interesting topic, which is the myth of having it all together, or perfectionism. I'm one of those people that does, unfortunately, suffer from a bit of perfectionism. I always try and get absolutely everything perfectly right, and then when it doesn't, kind of beat myself up for it. I think there's a few of us out there that do that. But first of all, what does having it all together even look like? Where does it come from? And you look into society, and there's a whole lot of, I guess, societal expectation of making sure that the world thinks you've got your shit together. And you know what? The reality is, most of us don't. You know, life is complicated. It is complex sometimes. It goes up and down. And I think there is an expectation that we put on ourselves as well as on everybody else. And I think social media has been a prime example of sort of showing that everybody appears to have everything perfect and amazing, and they only show the amazing bits on their social media profiles. And I kind of want to call bullshit on that. And I want to call bullshit on that on myself as well. I mean, one of the reasons that I started Lena Unedited and purely called it Lena Unedited is I just wanted to say something from the heart and not edit one tiny little bit of what I was saying, so that it came out truthful, it came out authentic, and allow you to see who I truly am. So that maybe it helps other people go, do you know what? It's okay to be not perfect all the time, and okay to not have it all together all of the time. And the reality is most of us don't. In fact, probably 99% of the world doesn't. Don't quote me on that stat, but anyway. So here's the thing. Like, you have a look and like, when I was coming out of my illness right at the beginning, and I started letting people know, because for ages I hid it. I didn't tell anybody how ill I was. I kind of hid it from the world. And the reason I did that is because I thought that other people would see it as a weakness, and that vulnerability was a sign of weakness. And then I remember watching a Brene Brown talk about the power of vulnerability, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. What does she mean, there's power in vulnerability? And I think people talk about authenticity as well. And so right early on in my sort of recovery phase, I remember writing a LinkedIn piece to sort of tell the world what was really going on. The fact that I didn't have it all together. There was mental health stuff going on. There was obviously huge physical health things going on. And that I'd had to ask for help. Life was not great. And I was feeling a bit shit about things, but that I was determined to get back on my feet. Didn't think it was going to take as long as it has. It's only now that I'm, looking for a job, trying to right things financially. Financially, they are not great at the moment. I'm getting by, but there's definitely a move away from. I want to get out of survival and into thrive mode big time. And mentally, I'm there already. Just now need to find something that's going to bring the income in. So, right back then, it was really interesting. The connections that I made as a result of that, and people that I talked to, it was really interesting because the moment I started telling people what was really going on, and the moment I started explaining to people and opening up about the reality of what was going on in my life, there were so many people that reached out, so many people that said, oh God, I totally understand, we've got stuff going on as well. And I did feel that connection started to happen more with people than I ever had before. And I think there's something powerful about, we do talk about authenticity all the time, but that means different things to different people. For me, the authentic me is letting everybody know, not in a negative way necessarily, but in an open, honest way about what's really going on in my life. And I think that's okay to do. I think we all need to do it in a way that feels comfortable for us. But I also think there's a big stigma around it as well, and that there's a lot of fear around the fact that if you let somebody know what's really going on, then they're going to see you as weak or disorganised or what have you. And hey, look, is it a risk? Probably. It's a risk I'm willing to take, because I would much rather somebody see the truth in what's happening in my life and maybe learn from some of the things that I'm learning as I'm going. So I think there's a huge amount of power in the vulnerability that Brene Brown talked about. It's not weakness, it's definitely just letting people see who you are and be authentically turning up as yourself, whether you're, and that's why I want to sort of bust the myth around having it all together. Not sure, as I said, most of us do. But then you've got to ask yourself also, does doing it that way allow yourself, if I continue to do this anyway, what does that open up? Does that open up a space for a different type of me to keep turning up? And I think it does. I think it gives me the opportunity to let people come on the journey with me, which I think is always a really interesting one. I think it allows me to tell the truthful stories of what's going on in my life, and maybe either find people that can support me, but also allow people that are maybe in the same boat to learn from some of the things that I'm learning as I'm going. So for example, I do have legally a business that's up and running. I haven't had a lot of work this year. In fact, I've not had virtually nothing. I am on benefits, which is not a fun place to be, and it mentally keeps you down for quite a while, although I'm now mentally jumping out of that headspace and moving back into the right, what's the next action to do. It's been a big pill, and almost a bitter pill to swallow, and the fact that while we're in the recession and I'm trying to get a business back on its feet, I really need to be able to go and get a job, because financially all the plans that I have need money behind them. And some of that might come maybe with sorry, there's a really loud helicopter going over the top. There's been the opportunity could be that I could get grants, which I'm applying for. It could be that maybe I have to swallow the pill and maybe get investment. There's a lot of question marks over things at the moment, but I do know that the number one thing I need to do in order to take things to the next level is have some steady income. So I've bitten the bullet and I'm applying for jobs. Being careful what I apply for, but I'm definitely applying for jobs out there. So if anybody's looking for somebody that's got the skills that I have around, it could be operations, it could be running a business, supporting CEOs, advising on that kind of thing, or it could be as simple as marketing jobs, communications jobs, whatever. So putting it out there, that's what I'm looking for, and I would love to be working in the horticultural sector, or maybe landscaping sector or building sector, something like that. Something that it's been a long time since I've done, but the work with the National Garden Scheme, charity, and things like that. And I have done work for people like the Botanical Gardener, Warren, shout out to you, Chris Warren, shout out to you, at the Botanical Gardener, amazing landscaping company in South London. I definitely think that there's a new me that's starting to turn up, who has already been turning up, because of the fact that I've been okay with not being perfect. I'm okay with the fact that sometimes when I post these, they're not perfect. Do you know what? It was causing procrastination with me with putting content out. If I thought about it too much and made it perfect, then it probably would never go out. So I made the, I would say, ballsy call to call it Lena Unedited, so that I could get this content out on a weekly basis. I don't know how to edit. That's me being honest. So that's another reason. And I don't want to stress myself out about the fact that I can't. So I thought, do you know what? I can either get out there and just create content and post it, not be worried about it being perfect, and not worry about what people think of its perfection, because it's not necessary. I think the content needs to be able to talk for itself. And I'm not trying to be perfect, and I'm not trying to show people that I've got it all together, because I don't. And that's okay. That's okay. I do hope that the content always helps people. I do hope that the journey of ups and downs is something that people can resonate with and understand, but also know that I have got huge amounts of skills I do have huge amounts of knowledge, expertise, and the fact that I'm kind of having to restart again because of everything that's happened to me with my health and wellness, do you know what? I'm okay with that as well. So here's to being perfectly imperfect. Here's to being okay with not having that myth around us that is we've got it all together. It's okay not to. It's okay. And I often, and I have it on the website for the FTSQ consultancy, it's okay to be a work in progress, you know. So that's it from me today. Hopefully that's of interest. It's helpful. I'm always here to talk to people. If you want to, please drop comments in, have a conversation with me about any of the stuff I've talked about. And hopefully we're all okay with not being perfect, because I don't think it exists. Anyway, have a good weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Hope all the Christmas jobs and things that you're doing and buying gifts and all the rest of it's going okay. And I'll talk to you all next week. See you later, everybody. Bye.